Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1193.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to explore, is silver about to take off? Now, silver's been very tricky for a long time. It's looked like it's going to take off and then it's pulled back. We've had weakness. We've had false breakouts. We've had all kinds of craziness with silver over the years. But here's the thing. The gold to silver ratio is now 84. That means you can buy 84 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. And historically, we've seen it more in the 60 or less area. More recently, around in the 60s. So in the 80s, this is showing exceptional value for silver right now. And the last time we saw the gold-silver ratio in the 80s was at the end of March when silver rallied about 11% in a couple of weeks. Now, silver has a lot of attractive qualities right now because of what's happening. We have the prospect of a government debt default. That possibility is out there, and a lot of people have talked about a June 1st time horizon. I don't know whether that is going to hold true or not, but there's a lot of conversation around that date or before. We've also seen the bullion banks have massive short positions, trying to keep the price of silver down so it doesn't compete with fiat money. If silver was able to be seen as more valuable money, something that holds its value and increases in value more than fiat money, then who would want Federal Reserve notes? So the Federal Reserve banks tend to short silver. We've also seen different states passing laws to make gold and silver legal tender. Most recently, the House in Alaska just passed such a bill. And at least 12 other states have passed similar legislation, and also, I think a total of 23 already have gold and silver as legal tender. We have higher inflation than we've had in a long time. That can also help precious metal trends. Another thing is the Federal Open Market Committee on hold, where maybe they're going to take a pause here because the economic data is actually weakening. We have a banking crisis where money is flying all around, moving from bank to bank, trying to find safety. We have tight credit conditions. And we have low inventories of silver because mines have been closed due to COVID, and demand is up because electronics requires silver. So computers, cell phones, solar panels, electric vehicles, etc. all require silver, which is much more rare than gold. And with solar power growing at 20% a year, that is definitely putting the pressure on more demand for silver. Also, you're not hearing it reported broadly, but for people who closely follow silver, it's being noted that the COMEX vaults are being emptied out of silver. For example, 619,000 ounces of silver moved out of the COMEX vaults on May 11th. That's just one example of massive amounts of silver being moved out of the vaults. Why? Because people are taking physical possession after their silver contracts come due. So they're not rolling over contracts. They're not renewing paper contracts. They're taking physical delivery of the silver because they know that there are more contracts than there is physical silver to cover them. And while many think that gold is a good hedge against the debt ceiling problems, and that's true, it is, silver is the one that will tend to appreciate more because it's starting from such a lower base price. Percentage-wise, it should increase more. And as I said, it's also rarer and needed for electronics. So while there might be a short-term fake out in price for silver, I would say do your research, but consider buying on the dips. A loss of faith and confidence in government is exactly what sends precious metals higher, and they look very poised to break out here. On Twitter, JC said COMEX registered silver inventory declined to a paltry $717 million, with ounces down more than 5% yesterday alone. A Hunt Brothers-esque squeeze, up 700% in 1979 to 1980, is likely. Just as investors are capitulating for no reason, a surge in prices seems more likely than ever. He also said there must have been some big margin calls in silver, meaning people had borrowed money to buy silver and had to sell silver to pay off that debt. He said, this pullback will be a blip in the context of the coming parabolic move. Silver is that perfect hedge for this kind of scenario. And if that's not enough, Treasury Secretary Yellen said she will try to update Congress in the coming weeks on the exact date the Treasury will run out of money. It really seems like this is a manufactured chaos and a controlled demolition. And one of the best ways to protect yourself is to have precious metals in your portfolio, with silver being the one poised to potentially move more. Do your own research, but the charts are setting up very interesting here. The premiums are higher than they've been in a long time. You cannot get an ounce of silver for $26 an ounce. It just doesn't exist. If you want physical silver, it's costing closer to $46 an ounce to get a physical coin. That's because the supplies just really don't exist, and the paper contracts have been what has been suppressing this price as the bullion banks have been shorting the price of silver to hold it down. I think we're about at the end of this game, so do your own research, but it looks to me like silver is going to soon be even more difficult to obtain. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available. And all of my wealth mentoring library of podcasts is available on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter for more wealth tips. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.